Hello, this is case study number 3, Medical Center from group number 4, cost allocation concepts. This presentation was created by TJ Duke, Chad Barnefus, Amanda Horrocks, Stephanie Higgins, Justin Belk, and James Allred. This is our projective summary results. This is actually pertaining to question number 5. We had to come up with, from the initial allocation, an alternative allocation for when the dialysis center was to be split off from the outpatient clinic. And it shows our revenues, our indirect costs, our net profit, facilities cost allocations, and our other overhead allocations. And basically this diagram or this chart results explains what we came up with to help the decision of the dialysis center breaking off from the outpatient clinic to be fair. Question number 1, is it fair? The question states, is it fair that the dialysis center had to basically leave and pay the costs of leaving? So no, the move is not expected to affect patient volume, revenue, or direct costs at first. They will be continuing on the previous pattern of work and were content with the old space. Therefore, if not for the growth of the outpatient clinic, they would need no change. The result was not their choice, so why should they be penalized for it? And that's kind of what we came up with. We felt that it was not fair that they would not be profitable from what happened because the outpatient clinic was growing, and it's not their fault that they were growing, but they shouldn't get penalized for it. Question number 2, should the facility be charged? And kind of goes along with question number 1. They shouldn't be charged the actual facilities costs for the new location because the outpatient clinic grew in size, forcing the dialysis center to be relocated. So because of the relocation, even from question 1, we feel like they shouldn't be charged the actual facility costs, and they shouldn't be penalized for it because it wasn't their fault that the outpatient clinic grew. Question number 3, is the annual allocation amount correct? And we feel that it is correct. I made an amortization of $4 million. And we feel that it matches. And we will be attaching a separate Excel sheet to the discussion board to explain this, how we got what we got. So after the loan building is paid off, should the cost be $0? So there's an opportunity. Basically, companies create an equal opportunity cost across all spaces. We feel no, there's an opportunity cost with all things. And it goes with it all. So they could be rented out. They could sell it. The organization. There's any option that would bring in more revenue. Basically, this would be it. So that's why facilities apply an equal opportunity cost across all spaces. Question number 4, should revenue be counted? So it is not fair that the dialysis center is being the middleman, but not getting any benefit. There's 2 possible options. So we decided to go with pharmacy. So is that we could have the pharmacy directly account for the revenue and costs of their books, so it doesn't show up on the dialysis center, giving an inaccurate picture of their finances. The dialysis center could have a certain cost associated with these sales as well, and thereby keep a portion of the profits for themselves instead of it all going to the pharmacy. So what you see here, there's revenue involved with this. There's $400,000 that could be split 50-50, so each facility is still profiting. So the pharmacy charges the dialysis center $800,000 for medication used. Well, the profit that the pharmacy gets is a split of that, so they get $400,000, but the dialysis center doesn't get anything. But if we cause a 50-50 split, then we would get $200,000. They would get $200,000 plus their $600,000, and then or their $400,000, and then they would then have $600,000. We have $200,000. We each make a profit, and I think that benefits us and them in the long run. It's a lot better than us getting nothing, and them getting it all. So appreciate you listening to our discussion, our proposal, our presentation, and these are the questions that will be associated with our a presentation. So going through the questions, do you think it was fair that they were charged more for the new facility? Did you use an amortization table to calculate the annual allocation amount? If not, how did you calculate it? And do you agree with the Marcus approach for open allocation? Why or why not? These are good questions to be asked, and we will, again, as I said, we'll post them on the discussion board, and you'll be able to answer these questions. So I look forward to the discussion, and thank you for listening to our presentation.